lovely bunch of coconuts. Feel they're standing in the row. Big one, small one, some was head. Even if twist of that
Oh no, anything but that song.
Every boy throw will make me rich. Here's just behind the isle of my life.
Vinny!
What?
If you sing this song one more time,
Yes?
Vinny, I really don't have time to put up with your antics. Francis just called. The meeting with the cultural ministry is over, and the news isn't good. Our project's being canned. Tonight will be our last night here.
Oh, don't be sad. I know you really liked your job here, but I'm sure there's a lot of other work out there for a skilled guy like you. And let's face it, it was only a matter of time until this happened. Euro crisis and all.
I know. But how is always the last thing to die?
But now it's over. So let's get out of this sad place and have a drink. Or two. Or three.
Nah, not yet. I don't want to leave any unfinished business behind.
And that is?
This.
What's this?
These are the remains of an old cistern. And what makes it so fascinating is that it's not really supposed to be here. It's not on any of the old maps. But the ground scans we did last summer clearly showed a hollow space, which is really amazing after more than 2,000 years. Francis didn't believe it could be man-made, but here is the proof. You can clearly see it's made of bricks.
I wonder what's down there.
Probably not too much. I suspect it's just another water storage for the amphitheater. That won't make sense. And you should probably stop jumping around like that. It might be unstable.
Come on. If it hasn't fallen down during the last 2,000 years, I'm sure it will last another day or two. Oh, now it sounds funny.
Vinny! Are you right? Say something! Vinny!
No, please! No!
Oh my gosh! What's the matter? Are you hurt?
No, but I fell on my lunch bag. Mozzarella caprese, my favorite, now it's ruined.
Vinny, you idiot! You almost gave me a heart attack.
Oh, look,
What do you see?
a Mars bar. And it's still good.
I don't believe it. All right, I've had it with you. I'm now going to let down the rope ladder, and you get your ugly butt up here ASAP. And the drink's on you tonight. What is it now?
Wait a minute, I'm not sure. It's a little bit dark down here. Can you chuck down the torch, please?
All right. Yeah. Catch.
Thanks.
What do you see?
Oh, ciao, signora. Are you doing anything tonight? I spy with my little eye. Booby.
This is getting really old, you know.
No, honestly, you've got to see this. She's beautiful.
What are you talking about?
If this is a water reservoir, it is sure and down pretty. You should really come down here and have a look.
I warn you, if you're making this up, I'm going to kick your ass from here to ancient Rome.
What are you waiting for?
I'm on my way. Oh. I know I'm going to regret this. I am seriously going to regret this.
Dear Tacitus, as you requested of me, I write to you this letter regarding the death of my uncle, Gaius Plinius Secundus, so that he may always be remembered. He was at Messenium in his capacity as commander of the fleet, when on the 24th of August, 79, between 2 and 3 in the afternoon, a cloud of unusual size and shape began to rise from Vesuvius. White, with dark patches of dirt and ash, and shaped a bit like a pine tree. The sight of it made the scientist and my uncle determined to see it from closer at hand. So he ordered a boat made ready and embarked himself directly toward the danger. Ash was raining onto the ships, darker and denser the closer they went. Then fell bits of pumice, and finally rocks that were blackened and burned by fire. At the onset of dusk, my uncle decided to turn to Stabia and take refuge with his friend Pompeianus. Broad sheets of flame were lighting up many parts of Vesuvius, ever so vivid against the darkness of the night. With a pretense of cheerfulness, to allay the fears of his friends, my uncle dined and then retired to rest. The next morning, the ground outside had risen with ash and stone, so that he could barely open the door. It was daylight now elsewhere in the world, but here the darkness was darker and thicker than any night. There were women lamenting, children crying, and men shouting. Many raised their hands to the gods, and even more believed that there were no gods any longer, and that this was one final unending night for the world. There was a strong smell of sulfur announcing the approach of flames. My uncle tried to stand up and flee with the others, but his breathing was obstructed by the dust-laden air, and he collapsed and died. The daylight did not come back until 2 days later. The sight that met our still terrified eyes was a changed world, buried in ash, as if it was snow.
Sounds like we just made one hell of a discovery, didn't we?
Yes. But without any funding, there's not much we can do right now. So let's get out of here before we get buried alive.
Wait a moment. This is the coolest thing discovered here in the century, and you don't want to check it out properly?
Well, look at the damage we've already done. We don't have the tools with us to do it justice. We need to get out of here and seal this place shut as good as we can. And besides, something feels very wrong. I don't think we should be here.
Marcus, seriously, what's wrong with you? Have you completely forgotten what fun is? This should be everything you'd ever dreamed of.
Yes it is. But I prefer to remain pragmatic about it.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
What? Am I on trial now, Vinny?
God, you've become such a bitter person. You're even managing to track me down, and that really means something. Come on, here is Miss Pompeian AD 79, and who found her? You did. And you don't feel anything? Not in the slightest? Come on.
Look, Vinny, the ruins of Pompeii are like a snapshot of ancient history, frozen in time, preserved under the ashes of Mount Vesuvius. I love this place. It's like a book waiting to be read, page by page. And the more I learn, the more I feel connected to the city and the people who lived here. If I could go back in time and be just one day, I would give up everything for that. This study is like the headline of a new exciting chapter, but it's only the beginning. It asks more questions than it gives answers. And I know that the people up there don't give a damn about us right now. Maybe someday there will be funding, and maybe someday someone will get to answer the questions. But it won't be now, and it won't be us. And that really doesn't make me happy.
Yeah, fine. You need to get drunk. Or late. Or both. Whatever makes you cheer the fuck up.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
Can we just at least take a photo before we leave or something?
Well, I guess some basic documentation couldn't do any harm.
Okay, so I am going to be the star on Facebook, you will see. Okay, let's go. Let's do it like this. Or like this.
That's a good one.
Or maybe something like this. Oh, let's...
Hello, lady.
How's that? Okay. Oh, please. Oh, please. Mighty Fortuna, please accept this humble mouse bar. May Marcus get red arms, shagged, and let his wildest dreams come true.
Oh, come on, now you're getting ridiculous.
All right. I guess it's time to get going.
Don't forget your mouse bar.
It was a sacrifice.
Why would... Never mind, why am I even arguing? Shit, I told you this place isn't stable. Out of here, now!
Marcus, where are you?
I'm here. Now, look what you've gone and done.
I didn't do it. It sounded more like an earthquake or something. Oh, no, not again.
Oh, great. I can't find my torch. Have you still got yours?
No.
Shit. Now we're in trouble. This was supposed to be our last day at work. It's going to be a while until someone will miss us. I told you it was dangerous to stay on longer than necessary.
Wait, Marcus, do you hear that?
Another tremor?
No, it sounds more like footsteps.
Yeah, right.
No, seriously, just listen.
Impossible.
Shh.
I told you there's someone talking down here.
What are you doing here? Who are you? You do not have permission to be here.
I don't know.
Those are funny clothes you're wearing. Are you part of the big show tonight?
Yeah, you're right. They must be printer slaves. Better we get them back where they belong.
What the hell is going on here?
Silence, sleep. One more word I tested your throat.
Not necessary.
Seems like you're not in favor with Fortuna today. Now, come with us. Would it be a shame for your desk to happen down here? where nobody can see it.
Marcus? What's going on?
Gladiators were a major source of entertainment for the public during the Roman Empire, being sent to fight with other gladiators, wild animals, and condemned criminals. Some gladiators were volunteers, risked their legal and social standing, as well as their lives, by appearing in the arena. Most were despised as slaves, or schooled under harsh conditions, were socially marginalized, and had their graves segregated upon their death. Gladiators offered audiences an example of Rome's martial ethics, and in fighting well or dying honorably, they could inspire admiration and popular acclaim. To die well, a gladiator should never ask for mercy nor cry out. A good death redeemed a gladiator from the dishonorable weakness of defeat and provided a noble example to those who spectated. Still, for his owner, it was considered a horrible disaster to lose a gladiator to death or a career-ending injury. These slaves were worth their weight in gold, and while still kept closely guarded, they could be afforded the greatest of luxuries when appropriate. Great fame and fortune could not only come to the owner, but to the gladiators as well, and the best of the best were treated as such. Some Romans would even sell themselves into slavery, including the arena, in order to pay off tremendous debts, all in an effort to become famous. Built around 70 BC, the amphitheatre of Pompeii was the first Roman amphitheatre to be built out of stone. It could seat around 20,000 people and serve not only the citizens of Pompeii, but also the inhabitants of surrounding towns. Graffiti and election posters on buildings and tombs show that the Roman games were as popular in Pompeii as elsewhere in the Roman world. In 59 AD, the Pompeians lost their right to hold games in their town after a riot in the arena with rival fans got several citizens from the nearby town of Nucera killed. The Senate in Rome was so outraged with the scandal that it imposed a 10-year ban on Pompeii hosting gladiatorial events. This was repealed just 3 years later, possibly in response to the earthquake that had just devastated the city earlier in the year, or maybe because Poppaea, wife of Emperor Nero, and a native of Pompeii herself, interceded on her town's behalf.
Come on, what's you got? Tighten up your elbows and keep moving. There. Yeah, that's right. Very good. A little bit lower. Good. Very good.
Hey guys, look what we found. Two prosthetic deserters. We found them in the whale room.
They all from this room. Take them away.
Don't try to talk your way out of it, Hercules. Teach your man the rules or leave them at home. Now get ready. The games are going to start any minute.
Where the hell are we?
The question is not where. The question is when.
I must be dreaming. Someone please pinch me. Ah!
Really?
Ah! I said pinch me, not punch me.
I'm so sorry. I can't hear very well with my helmet on.
Gentlemen, Gaius Gabus Rufus sends his best regards to you and wishes you a successful fight. He also wants me to mention that he's bet 1,000 sesterces on you guys. So you'd better not screw this up. The wine is on the house.
To Gaius Gavius, the old bastard! To Gaius Gavius!
Vinny, are you alright?
I think he broke my nose.
Are these two your new recruits?
They're just a couple of deserters who got what they deserve.
But did you really have to beat him up like that? Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
Now, why don't you shut your foxhole and go pray to the goddess like I paid you to do so, slave?
You're as much a slave as I am. And you never forget that.
Get out!
All right.
Now, who the fuck are you?
I am Marcus, and this is my friend Vinny Vincentus.
And what the fuck are you doing here?
We are. It may sound odd, but we are.
Gladiators!
What?
Why else would we be here?
Vinny, are you insane?
It's our first time here, and when we came back from the latrine, we must have taken the wrong hallway.
Your first time here, I see.
Yeah.
And what school do you belong to?
So we're gladiators. And we're from the Ludos of.
Bigos Dicos.
Vinny!
So, my friends, what say you? Shall we get Vinny Vincentus dressed up for the games and see how well he lives up to his school's name? Put this on. Over there. Don't forget the screw.
For heaven's sake.
Get him a weapon. Come on. Very well, you two. Up to the arena. Come on, guys. Bring them in.
What?
Move it. Move it.
If we survive this, I am seriously going to kill you. You know that.
And what if we don't?
Just shut up.
Okay.
You cannot beat it up each other like that. Can you please keep to the previously agreed and circulated script?
Script? We don't have a script. We're not even supposed to be here.
What were your names again?
Marcus and Vincentus.
You are not supposed to be here. Look, I have no clue who messed up the script this time, but it was not me, and the magistrate is not going to wait any longer. So, congratulations! You are now the opening act.
But we're not supposed to be here.
Why didn't you read the script?
Romani, Pathers, Censobers and Consules, magistrates and religious officers, Salvete omnes. We are at the middle of our ancient year. The sun is high and hot today, and it is still summer. I have asked this morning the temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus if he would allow us to honor him through its looting. The signs have been favorable, and as we ought to, we, the idealist rulers, have organized for you the traditional moneda and census. I'm very glad that Caius Gabius Rufus accepted to host this celebration and coordinate our team. You and Minerva will watch upon our games. But now, let us have Ludi, Quiritus. Raise your hands for our bestiary, Marcus and Vincentus, who will start off with the Great Beast Hunt.
The what?
Wait.
Anybody home? What are you waiting for? Waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Take this.
Ouch! What the hell are you doing?
I'm fighting you?
Ouch! Stop that! It hurts, my Jupiter! Did you read the script?
We don't have the script.
There, what? Oh, you idiots! Can't you gladiators do anything like just once?
I'm sorry. It's not our fault.
Oh, it's never your fault. Let me guess. The dog ate the script. Or was it blown away by the wind? Do you know how long time it took me to rehearse and learn like that choreography? 3 months! This is my 15 minutes of fame, and I'm not going to let you ruin it! But we fight you, coward! No! And now we're talking!
If I have to die, then so be it, but I'm not going to draw my last breath with the crowd booing at me. Marcus and Vincentus will go down to a cheer!
Say your prayers to little boy!
You kitty. What I have for you. Stay. Marcus, Vincentus.
Yes.
I'll get you out of here.
Thank you.
Save you for later. Follow me.
Thank you.
Why must I be perpetually surrounded by idiots? Why did I go to
Slavery in the Roman Empire. No people in recorded history owned so many slaves or relied as heavily upon slave labor as the Romans did. Slavery was vital to both the economy and the social fabric of society. Most slaves were acquired through warfare, with Roman armies bringing captives back as part of their spoils of war. Selling defeated soldiers as slaves brought a lot of income and was an alternative to imprisoning or killing them. New slaves were primarily acquired by wholesale dealers following in the wake of Roman armies. Julius Caesar once sold the entire population of a conquered region of Gaul, no fewer than 53,000 people, to slave dealers. In addition, people could sell their own children into slavery, and creditors could claim insolvent debtors as slaves. If a slave married and had children, the children would automatically become slaves, and sometimes parents would rather kill their newborn child than let it live a life as a slave. Slaves were treated in a wide variety of manners. Obviously, a mine worker lived a very different life than a house slave. Some were so highly regarded that they were considered part of families, worked a regular shift, and were free to come and go as they pleased outside of that time. Others lived in inhuman and harsh conditions, victims of the whims of society or the cruelty of their masters. The good master looked after a good slave, as an equally good replacement might be hard to find, and often were very expensive. For example, a good cook was highly prized, as the rich families of Rome's elite had the habit of trying to outdo each other when banquets were held. Slaves who tried to escape were hunted down without mercy, often by professional slave catchers. Advertisements with precise descriptions of escaped slaves were posted offering rewards. If caught, they could be punished by being whipped, seared with hot irons, or even killed. Those who lived were branded on the forehead with the letters FVG, for fugitivus. Slaves could regain their freedom only through their own owner's gratitude after loyal service, or by buying it through any meager earnings they might collect over a lifetime of servitude. They would have to raise exactly as much money as their masters had paid for them, a nigh on impossible task.
Quick, come in and close the door. I think we managed to shake them off, but they're going to be looking for us.
Where are we?
You're not from Pompeii, are you? Don't worry. This place belongs to a friend of mine. Greetings, Flavius.
Oh, hello, Vesuvius. What an unusual time to see you here. Scipio must have had quite a binge if he's out of wine already.
This time I'm not here for your wine. Do you still remember the little favor you owe me?
Yeah.
I need some time to talk to my new friends over there. But Gavius and his soldiers are on our heels, and if they catch us, they're going to get our heads. We need a place to hide.
By Jupiter, what did you do?
The less you know, the better.
Understood. You can hide in my storage. If you're hungry or thirsty, feel free to take whatever you like. There's also a large empty crate back there. If you hear me knock on the counter like this, hide in the crate and be quiet.
Oh, thank you, Flavius. This way, everyone. We're safe. For the time being, at least. By the way, my name is Vesuvius. And who are you?
I'm Marcus, and this is my friend Vincentius. I have no idea why you did this, but thank you for saving us.
Oh, you're welcome. But I just thought you were way too cute to be fed to the tigers.
Right.
Oh, that's really sweet. But that's not the whole reason, is it?
Let's just say I figured out you wanted to get out of the arena as much as I did.
You got that right. But why did you want to get away?
Because I no longer to be Scipio's personal whore.
Who the hell is Scipio?
What? You don't know him? Lucius Scipio Labeo is the one who organizes the games in the circus. One of the richest and most influential men in town. How did you end up in the arena without ever hearing his name?
I'm sorry, but we barely even arrived at the city. Wearing a slave's collar. Is the Scipio guy your owner? Has he been treating you badly?
I'd love to tell you the full story, but first I need to know if I can trust you. In the arena, you stuck out like a sore thumb. You're not gladiators, that's for sure. So, who are you? And what are you doing here?
Well, you really wouldn't believe us.
Well, try me.
So, there we were, two 2,000 years in the future, when suddenly the Earth started shaking
And then Vinny was hit on the head by a rock, and he's been a bit soft on the head ever since.
What?
Don't listen to him. We're really just humble commoners from Bindabonia. They forced us to enlist in the army to guard the northeastern border. When we refused, they sent us down here to be fetched to the lions. Before that, I used to be a carpenter.
And I used to be a hovercraft pilot, but then I took an arrow to the knees. Well, if you are not going to tell her the truth anyway, then...
As I said, don't listen to his nonsense. He used to be a blacksmith's apprentice.
No.
Breathing all these toxic fumes didn't really help his intelligence. And the rock strike accidented the rest. Very sad story.
Flavius Secundus.
At your service. What may I bring you, my good sir?
Something
Some of the finest wines that some hillsides of Vesuvius have to offer.
I am not here to get drunk, you idiot. I am looking for a little white vixen by the name of Vesunia and her accomplices, a fox and a rat. Have you seen them?
Yes, sir. Of course I have. Vesunia comes here every day to get fresh wine for Scipio and the gladiators.
And when was the last time you saw her?
This morning.
Very interesting. Because people on the street saw her running right this way just a few minutes ago. I'm sure you wouldn't mind if we had a closer look around, would you?
Of course not. Make yourselves right at home.
Good. What's this?
Pine nuts!
I see. Seems you were right. Good for you. Now, what's in here?
Fresh bread from the bakery.
Very well, no lighting here as well. Now, look what we have here.
This is a very special order from a highly esteemed member of the magistrate. A piece of the finest smoked ham imported from Taraco in the province of Tarraconensis. Absolutely precious.
Open it.
I'm sorry, but my customer insists that this precious shipment stay sealed to preserve its genuine quality. He won't be back to pick it up before next week, and exposing it to the rough air of Pompeian would certainly ruin the flavor.
Are you deaf? I said, open it.
And welcome to my humble tavern. Since we're all grown-up Roman citizens, I'm sure that we can get all along peacefully and...
Shut up. What the hell are you doing here? This is Pompeian. There is no place for losers here, so you better go back to where you came from, you Syrians.
You gladiators are nothing but gay pussies.
Hey.
You don't know shit.
fighting.
We are Lucerians. We are Lucerians. No time for pussies, 'cause we're from Luceria. Get the fuck out of here. I will show you how to deal with scum like you here, Pompeian. You can stick Pompey up your arse. You can stick Pompey up your arse. Stick Pompey, stick Pompey, stick Pompey up your arse. Up your arse! Okay, that's it. Come on, boys, let's stick some Pompey in their fucking face.
Enough of this! The fighting stops now, or I'll have you all arrested and thrown into the arena!
Which side are you on?
Don't you know who I am? I am Caius Carmus Rufus, and there is only one side to be on. The great Roman Empire and our resplendent Emperor Titus Vespasianus.
How about you mind your emperor's business elsewhere, Tin Man?
Yeah, this is about the games. I don't give a fuck about the Empire.
Get your pussy off an emperor!
This is a defamation of the Empire! Treason! Domestic disturbance! Out! Everyone out! I'll have you thrown to the lions! Guards! Guards! Step back! Guards!
Hello, my friend. I hope you're bringing good news. Hold still. Yeah, there we go. Oh, my dear sister. I've been waiting for this day for so long. We'll never be together again. Finally, away, my little friend. Someone's coming. Shoo, shoo.
Aurelia, my little turtle dove, how are you doing today?
If you're coming to fuck me, Gallus, why don't you just do it and spare me yourself talking?
How dare you speak to me like that? And look at me when I'm talking to you.
Ouch! You're hurting me.
I don't like it when people try to take the piss out of me.
What do you mean?
You know perfectly what I mean, don't you? I'm talking about that little whore of sisters of yours. Tell me what she's up to.
I'm locked up in here all the time. How am I supposed to know?
Just after the beginning of the games, one of my best men, Scipio, was found in his room at the amphitheater, in a pool of his own blood, butchered like a pig. And at the same moment, your sister suddenly vanished without a trace. Now isn't that a peculiar coincidence?
And what do I have to do with that?
Well, it's not like your sister murders people left, right, and center all week, is it? And still you don't seem to be the slightest bit surprised.
Maybe I just don't believe a word you say.
Yes, maybe you don't. Maybe someone else killed Scipio. Maybe you just don't believe me. And maybe this knife here found its way into your sewing basket all by itself?
No, please.
Do you really think a fine knife like this wouldn't be missed in the kitchen? My little turtle dove, suddenly out to kill her master all on her own.
I'm sorry, Master Gavius. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? I am so disappointed in you. Don't you know how much I love you? It breaks my heart to see that you hate me so much. My life is worthless without you. Here, take the knife and put it all to an end. I said, take the knife. And there is the next mystery. Why would you steal a knife if you're not ready to use it? What gave you the idea? Or should I ask, who? You are either the best actress I've ever seen, or someone else somewhere is telling you what to do. I'll be watching you very closely. And don't even think of doing anything stupid like this again.
You're still waiting for my answer, aren't you? Can't imagine how much I envy you. I wish I could spread my wings and fly away wherever I want, just like you. Take good care of yourself, it's a dangerous world out there. No flying, mindless, terrible place. Bye.
Pompeian religious beliefs were deeply rooted in superstition and often reached ridiculous levels of symbolism in order to ward off bad luck or the evil eye. Practices against every kind of disease in favor of health, fertility, and love were very common, as is indicated by the various amulets discovered around the city. The most popular symbol among Pompeians was the phallus. It was reproduced in every possible manner, from paintings and bas-reliefs to pendants and charms. It could be found everywhere, on the walls of buildings, at the entrances to shops, on fountains, and even inside houses. The number of deities being worshipped was virtually boundless. Pompeii was a city of Greek origin, and so it's not surprising that Greek mythology played a big role in everyday Pompeian life. Hercules, Bacchus, and Venus were the chosen patrons of the city. Especially so was Venus, the creator of the universe, she who decides over life and death. The dead were gods of the underworld, or afterlife, and any dutiful son was expected to venerate his mother as parental divinity after her death. Another favoured mythological figure was the Egyptian goddess Isis. A temple dedicated to her was erected in the theatre district, and several houses in Pompeii bear witness to her cult. She was also linked to Fortuna, the goddess of fortune, and the personification of luck and fate in Roman religion. In addition, each family typically worshipped a number of household gods. This usually involved dedicating an altar to them and then offering them libations, a simple ritual that involved pouring a liquid such as wine or milk. In certain situations, even living humans could be assigned godlike qualities. For example, every man leading his own household was believed to embody the genius, the generative principle, and the guardian spirit of his ancestors, which others might worship, and by which his family and slaves took oaths.
I first.
You're a good climber.
That's one of the very few things about being a rat. We're all good climbers. Where's Marcus?
I'm sorry, I've always been more a digger than a climber.
Oh, come on, handsome. We don't have all day. Here, take my hand.
This tree's pretty tall.
Yes, but it is the last place they will be looking for us. And I've got an important appointment to make.
Up here. In a tree.
Yes, just wait for it, you will see.
Okay.
By the way, you can get let go of my hand now, Marcus.
No?
I think I can understand now why you didn't want to become a soldier.
Vesuvius, there's something I wanted to ask you. What makes a slave like you suddenly risk your life to save complete strangers like us?
I wasn't always a slave. My home is far in the north, way beyond the borders of the empire. Me and my sister came here on my father's ship. He used to trade precious metals, the kind that the legions need to harden swords. They are very rare and extremely valuable. But a high-ranking magistrate by the name of Gaius Rufus didn't like his pricing. He murdered my father, telling everyone he had to refuse to pay his debt. And because he was a foreigner, nobody gave a shit about his death.
Right. That's horrible. My father died in an accident when I was 12, and it took me years to come to terms with that. And yet I can't even imagine how awful it must have been for him. What happened after your father was killed?
Gaius sold me to Scipio, the guy who runs the amphitheater. Scipio made me wash the halls, get food and drinks for his favorite gladiators, and be his personal plaything.
Unbelievable. What about your sister?
Gaius is keeping her locked up in the house to keep me silent. For a month I've been planning a way to free her, get back the gold that rightfully belongs to my family, and get as far away from here as possible. But alone, I can accomplish nothing. When I saw you, it was obvious you wanted to get out of here as much as I do. And besides, you were way too pretty to die like that.
Why, thank you.
That's a very touching story, but how do we know it is true?
Vinny, she risked everything to save us. Why should she lie? And if a way home even exists, what good is it if we don't survive? Vesuvius knows our way around, and escaping with a bag of money doesn't sound all that bad to me. we've been waiting for a bird.
Yes. This is how Aurelia and I keep in touch without Gavius noticing. Come here, little one. I've got food for you. Good girl. So. Yes. Yes. My prayers to the goddess have been answered. Aurelia managed to convince Gavius I went to Herculaneum trying to get on one of the traders' ships. And it seems most of his servants will be out to help at the amphitheater instead of guarding the house tonight. That's brilliant news.
Gavius may be rich, but he's not exactly the brightest button, is he?
Oh, well, he's certainly not an idiot, but he has one weakness. He's prone to become very thoughtless at the slightest chance of a piece of ass. I already know that he sends the guards away when he's up for some alone time with my sister. And today, she promised she will do her best to make it last as long as possible.
Very nice. But how are we even supposed to get inside the house?
Aurelia writes that Gavius' cook, Octavia, frequently attends the bathhouse to keep herself up to date with the latest gossip. She's one of the few people who has a key for the back door to Gavius' house.
So, the plan is to take the key, walk into Gavius' house, knock him out during the act, then walk out again like nothing happened? Excuse me, ma'am, but that sounds too good to be true.
Of course, it won't be quite that easy. That's why I can't do it alone. I need help. Please. Don't let me down.
Don't worry, Sonia. We will stand by your side. Just thinking of that monster screwing your sister makes me want to...
Hello? Time to whistle for your gonads and wake up, Marcus. You don't even know her. Weren't you always the one telling me to think rationally?
Oh, there is no rational explanation for any of this. But you know what? Right now, I'm in the middle of an adventure, next to a beautiful woman. And for the first time in ages, I feel like my life might actually have a purpose.
This is not a goddamn fairy tale. One false move and we are dead.
Well, if I'm going to die, I'd rather do so for something worth.
Marcus!
Come on. I've got him.
Whoa, that was close. Seems you saved my life a second time.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a habit.
Right, rub it in.
The giant sleep has become very restless lately.
Oh, you mean there have been earthquakes like this before?
Yes, they've become quite common in the last few days.
Wait a minute. Who's the current emperor again?
Titus Vespasianus, for about a month. Have you been living under a rock?
What day is it?
Sunday, 24th of August.
Shit.
What is it?
Vinny! Vinny!
I found a nest. Maybe there are eggs inside. Aren't you hungry too? Whoa! Ah! Ouch! Well, that was close. Apparently, this was a magpie's nest. Yeah, what were you saying again?
Today is August 24th, 79 AD. Look at the volcano. It precisely matches the recordings of Pliny the Younger.
Oh.
Today is the last day of Pompeii.
That means we'd better run, right?
What in Jupiter's name are you talking about?
I hate to say it, Sonia, but your sister...
Yes?
The volcano, I mean...
Yes? What?
Oh, screw it. We're going to sleep right away.
What?
After the first explosion, we'll have at least 12 miles before the final shockwave hits the city. We can still do it if we're quick.
You must be totally out of your mind.
You have a fork in your head.
I know! Marcus, you know you're neither a fighter nor a hero, don't you?
Well, it's always the first time.
Thank you so much. This really means a lot to me.
It's hopeless. So, can we please just get the hell out of here?
Of course. Come on, Vesuvius, let's go and take a bath.
Originally, Roman bathhouses were small, strictly practical washhouses and reserved only for men. But in the 2nd century BC, public baths were sometimes turned into enormous recreation centres, often fully equipped with gymnasia, gardens, libraries and reading rooms, in addition to the baths themselves. During the height of the empire, the baths were open to men, women and children alike, and Romans went to the baths to meet each other, to stroll about and talk, to play ball and other games, to exercise and, of course, to get cool in summer and warm up during winter. The baths were the social centres of Roman society, and they were notorious for the cacophony of noise coming from them. The fee to use the baths was the very modest amount of 1 quadrans, the smallest unit of currency in the empire. However, rich locals, in attempts to boost their influence and social standing, would sometimes sponsor entry to the baths, as well as other public facilities, which allowed the locals to use facilities at no expense. Even the emperor himself was no stranger to bestowing a sponsorship upon these buildings. There were cold baths in the frigidarium, a warm room called the tepidarium, and a heated chamber, the calidarium, which had warm baths and hot air akin to the modern Turkish bath. Bathers could enjoy any one or any of these in turn and in any order. The heat was provided by a fierce fire under the floors, fueled by large quantities of wood and stoked by slaves. Since the Romans lacked soap, part of the treatment was to remove dirt and sweat by being scraped down with a metal, bone or wooden blade. The bathers either brought slaves with them to carry their towels, to scrape and to rub them down, or they hired such services at the baths, where there were often masseurs, anointers, depilators, and perfumers. The poor, who could afford none of these attentions, rubbed and scraped themselves by hand or against a wall. After reclaiming their tunics and togas from the cloakroom attendant, that is, if they had not been stolen or switched for shoddy, worn-out clothes by some enterprising thief, they could lounge, talk and stroll, read or eat, before they all went their separate ways.
Salve, Octavia. How was your day so far?
show today? And what happened to your nose? Some idiot who didn't know what to do with a tiny enemy sold help to my nose. Gladiators stood under professionals they once were. Today, it's all about cheap, replaceable labor. Embarrassing. Utterly embarrassing. Say, would you lend me a hand and scrub my back?
Oh, you anytime, my dear.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that. Yes, oh, please, good. Yeah, right there. Ooh, wonderful. Oh.
Hey, stop! Where do you think you're going? This is the women's section. The men's section is down the hallway.
You won't believe what's going on over there right now. Everyone's gone totally out of their minds. They're all wearing strange costumes, running in circles trying to create a vortex, and the entire pool is filled with giant inflatable animals. They're completely out of control, and someone's got to stop them.
What? Unbelievable! I will see to that at once.
Yeah, come on, this way, this way. Ow, they must have heard.
I think that one will not bother us for a while.
Excellent! Hey! One down, two more to go. Vincentus, now it's your turn.
Vincenta! My name is Vincenta! Why does everybody get it wrong? So... It's cleaning time! My ladies, I'm afraid this section will be closed for cleaning for the next 15 minutes.
What? You can't be serious.
Oh, come on. She's just doing her job. We can go over and relax in the Gladiatorial. How does that sound?
Oh, right, we have to. Oops. Did I do that? I'm so sorry.
Well, make it 20 minutes now. That's your fault. Now, out, out, out!
Wait a minute. You smell this very familiar. No, I haven't here before. Oh. Ow! Ouch!
Don't stick your nose into things that are not your business. Now let me do my job.
Oh, I don't. I've had enough today. Leaving, going. Jeez.
Oh, poor kitty. Always gets it on the nose.
We're on our own.
That was an excellent job, everybody. Well done.
You're welcome.
I just have one little question. How do you inflate animals?
Well, I'll explain it to you another time. I think we should really go for the key now.
Okay. So, you start from the right, I start from the left. Who finds the key first wins. Ready, set, go!
officer and my hairdresser, who always been exceptionally nice to me.
Now I have the key. First lesson when becoming a thief, don't talk too much. And second lesson, always keep your loot safe.
Hey, that's not fair.
Oh, we're outlaws now. If you want to survive, you have to play dirty.
Give me my key back.
Well, come and get it. Now, do you want it? Here, go.
Just wait.
Is that all you can do, huh? Here's the guy.
And lesson number 3, don't try to outrun the fox who has the longer legs.
You're unbelievable.
You too.
I've never met anybody like you before.
I could say the same thing. Do you want the key back? I'm willing to trade.
What for?
I guess yes would be in order.
Oh, you're a lousy thief, but you're an even worse businessman. You can keep the key.
Hello? 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 There's a volcano floating out there.
And there will soon be one exploding in here.
Righto. I get the message. The coon has done his duty. The coon may go. Thank you very much. I'm sure I'll give you 5 minutes before I let the tiger back in. Do you hear me? Hello? It's hopeless.
Sexuality in pagan times is perhaps hard to understand by a Western society heavily influenced by Christian values. To a Roman, sex did not engender any kind of bond between two people. It guaranteed absolutely no obligation between one side and the other. In a Roman household, sex was in plentiful supply. There were no limits on age and also none on gender. In Rome, a woman had no legal identity other than a man's daughter or wife, entirely subjected first to her father and then to her husband, who was entitled to beat her if he felt that she had overstepped her mark. Although women from good families were taught to read and write, the vast majority did not receive any formal education. They could not vote or take up any formal role such as magistrate or soldier, and were effectively confined to running the home and having children. Little better than a slave. The existence of slaves in the house naturally meant that, particularly the men, had access to sex whenever they felt like it. Often slaves were bound to a particular household, not merely by ownership, but also by loyalty, and rejecting a man's advances could not only be seen as disobedience, but also as betrayal. And as far as the law was concerned back then, sex with slaves or prostitutes was not adulterous, at least not for men. The fact that a family might live under the same roof with slaves who had shared the bed with some of the other family members could lead to some seriously confusing lineage. After all, the children of the slaves might well be half-sisters or brothers of the Roman children of the household. And despite the liberal attitude towards sex, secrecy and subtlety about it in the household means the slave children may not even have known about their shared parentage with their Roman master's children. saw nothing wrong with that. Although Rome was a tolerant society in law, too much unrestrained sexual activity was frowned upon by society. Being unrestrained was deemed a flaw in a man's character, making him disreputable. Self-control and inner discipline were the two most important virtues sought by all men. The worst weakness ever to be discovered in a man was effeminacy, and in fact it was perhaps the worst insult known to Romans to be called effeminate, for an effeminate man had become weak, unrestrained, and womanlike in the eyes of his fellow countrymen.
All right, this must be the right door.
And judging from the sounds, we're coming at exactly the right time.
So, what's your plan, Vesuvius?
We need to act quickly. On the count of 3, we run in. You two are much heavier than I am. So, I'd say you tackle Gavius and I take care of him while you hold him down.
All right.
Copy that.
Then 1, 2, 3!
You bastard.
You're not going anywhere. What the?
That's for laying your filthy paws on my sister, you son of a bitch!
He's dead. You killed him.
Of course I did. What did you think I was going to do? Welcome to reality, my friend. Oh, my by Hercules sister, what did he do to you? Come here, let me take this off of you.
I'm so sorry, sister. He made me do it. I didn't have a choice. Please, forgive me.
What are you talking about? Gavius is dead now. Everything will be fine.
The reports of my death are widely exaggerated.
Shit, it's a trap.
Gavius! How? I don't even...
And this time we even caught you red-handed. Murdering an innocent slave. Such a terrible thing to do.
How did you know we were coming?
Let's just say... a little bird told me.
I hate you, Gavius! I hate you! I will...
One more word and I'll have him slit your throat. Now drop your weapon, murderer. Very good.
Vesuvius is not a murderer. You are. You killed her father for your own gain, while she was just desperate to save the life of her sister.
Her father was a professional fraudster, just like herself and her pretty sister. What did she do to wrap you around her little finger? Did she shove her boobs in your face while telling you one of her heartbreaking fairy tales about the tragic murder of her father?
She saved our lives.
She needed you to get out of the arena because she had just killed the caretaker of the Gladiatorial games? She slit Scipio's throat and let him bleed out like a pig. And apparently, I was next in line. All to get back her father's ill-gotten money.
No, that's not true. You're lying. You must be lying.
I am so sorry to burst your bubble. As you seem to be a decent, principled man, I think I'm going to let you live. I'm sure you will fetch a good price at the slave auction. As for Vesuvius, I'll have her executed in the arena before the sun sets. Have a nice day.
Vesuvius, please tell me he's lying. Please. Vesuvius.
Stop it. She's got a knife to her throat. She can't answer you.
Vesuvius. But you can answer me. Aurelia, is it true what Gavius said? Did Vesuvius lie to me? Did she? I need to know the truth.
Don't you see you're scaring the shit out of her?
For the first time in years, I bring myself to trust a woman again. I even risked my life for her, and until 5 minutes ago, this felt like the craziest, happiest day of my life. Can't you imagine how I'm feeling now? I need to know the truth!
What you need is to shut the fuck up! Vesuvius has been sent to be executed. The only thing you can care about is your own self-pity.
But...
Shut it, alright? You will stay here and think about why the girls don't like you when you talk to them like that, okay?
Fine.
Hey, Aurelia. I'm sorry for that. We're all a little bit tense. You must be feeling terrible. Hey. All is not lost yet. Maybe we can still get out of this alive, but we don't have much time.
Yeah, when the volcano blows first.
Shut it! Look, Aurelia, I really want to help you. But I can only do that if you're absolutely honest with me.
It's my fault Gavius found out about you. And I promise I'll do everything I can to make up for it.
Then please, tell me, how did you really end up here?
What Gavius said is not the whole truth. They're family travelers. Mother died when we were born. And father didn't have a heart to give us away. We were moved from town to town, living off scraps. But because of our species, people were afraid of us. They thought we possessed the evil eye or other kinds of witchcraft.
Was that why Gavius was after your father?
Not quite. When we were old enough, father let us ride as fortune tellers. He would give bribes to the gladiators at the arena and let us do a little magic show, telling people which team to place a bet on in return for a share of the prize when they won.
So, then Gavius found out about you rigging the fights.
No, he's stupid to believe he really was psychic. That made father an offer to buy us. When he refused, Gavius killed him. He wouldn't believe us when we confessed we couldn't predict the future. He locked me up and put Vesuvius in service Scipio at the arena, threatening to abuse me if her predictions wouldn't improve.
So it's a fact. She's a liar, a criminal, and possibly even a murderer. Unbelievable.
No, she's not a murderer. She didn't have a choice.
What the?
What was that?
Did I see that?
What is it? Oh God, look at that cone of ash above you. It's starting to collapse. That's not good. How much time do we have left?
Not much.
Okay. That means if we run really fast, we might still be able to catch up with Gavius.
No. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Marcus, lying to us was our only chance to survive. How can you be so heartless?
I'm not heartless. I'm trying to keep my wits together.
Yeah, first you screw her, then you dump her. Very witty.
But
The last word is not spoken about this yet, but let's get out of here right now.
By Hercules, how did you do that?
Well, there's things money can't buy, but for everything else, there's MasterCard. You can call me Vinny. Let's get out of here while we still can. And you, Marcus, you can pity yourself on the way out. Let's go.
Go where? Vinny? Vincent? Oh, Jesus Christ, Vincent! Stop, keep moving. And if you stay under cover, the smaller brimstones may be harmless, but sometimes there will be bigger chunks coming down, and you really don't want to get hit by those.
Wait a minute. It's the other way to the arena.
We're not going to the arena.
But I thought we...
Once we're outside the city, we're going to run as fast as we can, along the coast, away from the volcano.
What about my sister?
I'm sorry, Aurelia, but going back would be suicide.
Don't be sorry. You've already done more than anyone could ever ask for. Thank you so much for helping us. I'll be forever grateful. But I can't leave my sister behind. I must go back to the arena.
I understand.
We'll always keep you in our hearts. But before I race past, I want to give you something that will always remind you of us, no matter what happens. It's the last letter I received from Vesuvius. Please, keep it safe.
Thank you.
And good luck to you too, Vinny.
Good luck. Oh.
Take good care of yourselves. Farewell.
Aurelia, wait. I will go with you.
What?
Really? After all that's happened, would you still do that for me?
Of course. You were very brave, but you won't stand a chance against Gavius alone.
Vinny, against Mount Vesuvius, nobody stands a chance.
Marcus, don't you think that sometimes, just sometimes, someone else's feelings should be more important than your own? Have you ever thought about how Vesuvius might be feeling about you?
Vinny, in just a few hours there will not be a city here anymore. Feelings don't matter.
When do feelings matter if not now? I think I begin to understand why you have been so alone all these years.
I was completely uncalled for.
I really don't want to cause any trouble.
Don't worry, you aren't. Come on, let's go. And, Marcus?
Yes?
I can take care of myself and the girls. We'll be back, alive and kicking.
You'd bet.
I promise. Now take care.
Yes, take care, Marcus.
What am I supposed to do now? I really don't know what's wrong and what's right anymore.
Dear sister, we are on our way to freedom. When I took these two would-be gladiators with me, I didn't expect much. But even in this short time, I feel like I've made some wonderful friends. Especially Marcus. He's both handsome and very intelligent. He impresses me in every possible way, and I hate lying to him. I'll tell him the truth when he's ready, and I hope he'll understand why I didn't have another choice. And there's so much more I want to tell him. I think I love him. See you soon in freedom.
Oh shit! This is happening earlier than I thought. There, already today. Can't breathe anymore.
The one who
brought you here.
Fate?
There is no fate. There is only a world full of possibilities.
Then why did you bring me here?
Because you asked me to make your dreams come true.
But this couldn't be any further from my dreams.
You didn't really expect me to do all the hard work for you in exchange for one lousy Mars bar, right? Even good luck only comes in the form of opportunities. You'll never win the lottery if you don't play, if you catch my drift.
But how am I supposed to know what to do?
Oh, come on, don't play dumb.
No, really, I don't have the faintest idea.
Well, then let's have a look at what you've achieved so far. Maybe that'll give you an idea. You got to see ancient Pompeian, the city you care so much about. And got out alive. You delivered a slave from the fangs of her evil master. You got properly laid by a hot Arctic vixen without even having to ask for it. You freed the beautiful princess from the bad guy's castle. Well, figuratively speaking. Well, it looks like you haven't been doing so bad after all. But why are you still unhappy? What is missing from this list? There. Get it now?
But how am I supposed to achieve that if getting the girl and living ever after are mutually exclusive?
Oh, there are so many possibilities.
I know, but which one is the right one? On one side, I really want to trust my feelings, which tell me to join my friends and save the woman I love. Then, I also want to trust my reason, which tells me that it's much too late to follow Vinny and Aurelia to the arena. What's the point to be with your loved ones if you don't survive? It tears me out.
All right. The chocolate bar wasn't too bad, so here's one more piece of advice. Treating reason and emotion as opposites will paralyze you. But if you manage to change your point of view and join both forces as one, you can become stronger than ever before.
What does that mean? Is this even real? Am I really having a conversation with someone, or am I just talking to myself? Or is it just a hallucination caused by the last firing neurons in my brain before I die of sulfur dioxide poisoning?
Well, your wish has been granted. The possibilities are all in place. Now you have to make up your mind, and you'd better do it fast. Because if you don't, your story will end right here.
Sulfur dioxide. Oh my god. It's the death trap. Vinny! Aurelia! Come back! Aurelia! Vinny!
I can't believe Claudius had the games shut down for the day just because of the weather.
With all due respect, sir, you have to admit this is the first time in history it is raining ash and stone. The citizens can panic. They believe the wrath of the gods is upon them.
Too bad. The crowd loves public executions. I'm sure it would have made the day. Well, then we'll have to postpone the fun till tomorrow. Stay here and guard her.
Yes, sir.
Ave, 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 ave.
be one of the Nucerian fans. What a disgrace.
What a relief. Pompeian wine is like making love in a canoe. Fucking close to water. Do you hear me, Pompeians? We are going to kick your asses.
All right, enough is enough. Get up there and show that idiot where the exit is.
It will be my pleasure.
What's this shit for?
Hey, you! What do you think you are doing? This is a decent city. Get out right now, or I'll show you who is the one kicking asses here. I will count to 3. 1, 2...
What the hell?
Who are you and what is going out there?
I don't know. I thought I was gonna die, man. That arrow came from like nowhere. Look what they did to that card. That arrow was meant for me and all just because I'm for the wrong team. Is that how you treat your guests at Pawpet? No, lady. What did she do?
That's none of your business. And now get out, you sticking dirtbag.
Are you going to look for your guard? Look, I think he's still alive.
No, I'm not that... Oh, wait, of course. Why not? But you go first.
No, you go first.
No, you go first.
You go first.
You go first.
You go first.
You go
That's
first.
right, I go.
Just one last thing, Vincentus.
Yes?
Thank you, that's all I want to know.
Shit.
One false move and I'll slice you like a piece of ham. Now lose that silly costume and drop your weapon, I know you have one. Come on, drop it slowly. There. And the weapon.
Satisfied?
Very good. And now, let's take a little walk outside together. Now show yourselves wherever you are, or your funny little friend here is going to kick the bucket. Come on!
This time I'm prepared. If you don't let me go at once, I will send this arrow right between your eyes.
Do I look like an idiot? Where is Marcus? I bet he's just waiting for the opportunity to shoot me in the back and once again finish the dirty job for the little turtle dove.
Cut the turtle dove. Those times are over.
Let's face it, my little turtle dove, you are not your sister. You are weak. Remember when I gave you the knife and all you could do was stand here and tremble? You know you can't kill me.
I will do it, Darius. This time, I will do it. I owe him my life.
No, you owe me your life. I own you. I am your rightful master. If I say kneel before me, you kneel before me. If I say bend over, you bend over. And if I say suck my cock, then you suck my cock. Is that clear? Now stop pointing that stick at me and obey.
Not anymore, Darius. And not ever again. No more bending over for you. I can kill you, and I will if I have to.
And why don't you do it right away?
Because I'm not like you. I don't enjoy being cruel.
You were such a stupid girl, wasting your time with sentimental crap. And now it's too late. See you in hell, my little turtle dove.
No!
Take this! Now, tell me where Marcus is. I am tired of running into one of you little fuckers wherever I go.
I don't know.
Where is he?
I don't know. He left the city, I swear.
Wrong answer. And again. Where is Marcus?
I told you I don't know. Stop it, you bastard!
This is your last chance, but you never learn, do you?
Believe me, I wish you were here right now. I really do. I do not know where he is.
You are really going a long way to impress your girlfriend, aren't you? And was it worth so far? Did you get to fuck her yet? No. What a pity. Because that's the only thing she was ever good at.
May your soul be cursed for all eternity, Gavios. Come here.
I never thought I'd be ever be happy to see someone die.
I know what you mean. And believe me, I'd have loved to cut his balls off before slitting his throat.
Aurelia.
Oh, God.
No, Aurelia.
Oh, God. Aurelia. Aurelia. Can you hear me? Oh, sister, my hands. Everything is bloody.
Do you think you can run? Very soon, Pompeian will be wiped out by a giant wave of fire and molten rock. Hotter than you can imagine. I know it sounds unbelievable, but you have to trust me. We must get away from here as far as we can.
How do you know all this?
Let's say the gods told me. No, we must get out of here now. Come. I knew you wouldn't abandon us. I knew it.
I should never have left you.
Nobody's perfect. You came back to save us, and that's all that counts.
Well, at least for the time being, we know that this room will still be intact in 2,000 years. But I'm afraid the air won't last quite as long. Vesunia? Vesunia!
Marcus? Is that you? Oh, I'm so glad to see you.
You almost didn't make it, but you're safe now. The gas nearly killed you.
What are you talking about?
Sulfur dioxide. It comes from inside Mount Vesuvius. You can't see it, but it burns your lungs and it poisons the air.
I have never heard of sulfur dioxide before.
No wonder it hasn't been discovered yet.
Oh, Rhea. Oh, my poor little sister. She looks so awful.
She's barely breathing.
Oh, I wish we had fresh water to clean her wound with. And yours too.
I can stand all the pain in the world as long as I know Aurelia will be alright.
Minnie, sister, I'm here. Everything hurts. Oh, am I going to die?
No. Not as long I'm here, I promise.
What was that?
We're running out of air. I had hoped we have more time.
What is your plan, Marcus?
I'm out of plans.
So, the next lights going out will be ours?
I hope not. You know, I thought a lot about which divine providence brought us here. And why? And I think we're here for a reason.
You're not talking about the chocolate sacrifice, are you?
Do you remember how they asked the goddess to make my greatest dreams come true? Do you?
For a Mars bar? That was supposed to be a joke.
And yet the goddess pitied us. Although, for such a meager sacrifice, she decided to make it a challenge.
How do you know?
I had a dream in which the goddess talked to me. And despite all misery, most of the things I had wished for have indeed come true.
But not all of them, right?
No. One final wish remains. And one final achievement. Vesunia?
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too, Marcus. And I am so sorry for lying to you.
I know you had no choice. But, you know what? I'm not a carpenter from Winterbonia either. I'm a scientist from the future. Can you imagine that I saw the ruins of the city 2,000 years from now? If I had told you the truth, would you have believed it?
No. But I believe you now. Because I also sent my wishes to the goddess. And all wishes came through as well. Except for one. And I think it's the same as yours.
Oh, shit. That was the final blast.
Does that mean our fate is sealed?
No. There's no fate. Just a world of possibilities. Hold on tight. felt like the kick of a horse.
Marcus, thank God you're alive. I'm so glad you're back. When they dug you out half an hour ago, you weren't even breathing. I was so scared you wouldn't make it.
What exactly happened?
Apparently, a part of the ceiling caved in when we went down into that strange worship room yesterday evening. And it quite literally buried us alive. It's a wonder we survived.
Just yesterday? That means we were gone for only one night?
You almost sound disappointed. Aren't you glad to be alive?
Well, most I am.
But don't look it.
No, I guess I don't.
But what makes you so unhappy?
You know, I had the strangest dream. It wasn't like we had gone back in time to the ancient city of Pompeian, just before it was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And in that dream, I met someone very special. Now she's gone. I miss her so badly.
I know how you feel. I miss Aurelia too.
But how would you know?
Because I dreamed the same thing.
That's impossible.
So you think it wasn't a dream? But how do you explain all the unlikely things that happened? For example, how did you manage to survive the toxic gas?
Oh, that was an old trick from my chemistry class. I took a wine jug filled with water and scraped some lime off the nearest wall. Then I rolled up 2 pieces of parchment and stuck them into the bottle, but only one of them going all the way down, so you could suck air through the water.
Sounds like the MacGyver way of building a hookah.
Exactly. When breathing in through it, the line in the water neutralized enough of the sulfur dioxide to keep me from suffocating. I was lucky it worked so well, but the science is solid.
Fair enough. But if we really went back in time, wouldn't we have left a lot of evidence for us to find in the present? Vesuvius and Aurelia were there down with us. Until the very end, so shouldn't we have stumbled over the remains when we first entered the room with the statue yesterday? I don't remember any.
Isn't it ironic? Once in a lifetime you get the chance to see all your dreams come true, and the only thing you get to take home are your scars. Wait, holy shit!
What is it?
I've got something in my pocket.
A hole?
No.
Another Mars bar?
No.
Snickers?
No.
Kit Kat?
No.
Milky Way?
No.
Butterfinger?
No.
Dairy milk?
No.
Then what the hell is it?
This is the final letter that Vesuvius wrote to Aurelia. I had it in my pocket all the time.
No way.
And although she technically wrote this 2,000 years ago, it looks as good as new. It traveled with us to the present. If that's possible, and there were no skeletons in the prayer room, you know what that could mean for Vesuvius and Aurelia? They
could be here!
Keep digging! There might be more people down there.
Very interesting. And do they have insurance?
Insurance, my ass!
If you don't start digging right now, I am going to stick this shovel right in your...
Whoa, there! I'm just doing my job, okay? Just hang on for a minute. Whoa, there! I'm just doing my job, okay? Just hang on for a minute.
You're stuttering?
One lucky fool.
What?
Vesuvius! Aurelia! Wake up, please, Vesuvius! Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up! Come on, wake up!
Hey, stop! What are you doing? Do you want to kill them? Step back and let the professional do this.
All right?
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! how it's done. No, don't thank me. I'm just doing my job.
By the gods! Why?
Mario, what have you done to us?
And take your filthy paws off my sister!
Oh, look, a Mars bar.
Aurelia, it's fine. It's just us. Oh.
Beanie! I'm so glad you're here.
And I'm so glad you were here.
Marcus, what happened to the city? Everything is in ruins. Where are all the people? What happened to them? Are they all dead? And what about us?
Don't be afraid, Vesuvius. They're still very alive. And I'm here with you. But what happened is very hard to understand. Now, when there's time, I will explain everything to you. I promise. I know I let you down, but do you think you can trust me one more time?
Yes, of course.
Then let this world be our world.
standing up here with my mind blanked out. Yes, this was the EF18 Pawpet show, and this is the best crew I have ever worked with in my life. And it's just a little part of the crew, but this is the crew that has been doing this show for tonight. And as always, there were some rolling credits this time, but this just doesn't do it justice. So, for a change, I'm going to start to introduce my crew to you from this side over here. And I'm going to start with the ingenious Leonard as Vesuvius. And then we have a representative from Luceria here, I see. This is Risa, my backstage manager number 1. And now I think it is that we are now switched to these nice rock puppets, is that you always need 2 people to play them. So the next person I want to introduce is Tanya Nightfox. Who did an absolutely stunning job playing Vesuvius. And here's Pinky back. She's back after taking 1 year of a break because she needed to finish her PhD, and she's back in the team as the main puppeteer of Aurelia. Pinky also played Felicia, the tigers, meow. And the next one is Pan, who played the other half of Aurelia and the medic. And I'm just only mentioning the main things they do because they are like a big pile of ants that's rolling around all the time back there. And even I keeping track of what they really do. Then we have Fervin, stagehand, secondary puppeteer, and puppet builder, and prop builder, and blah, 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 and 1,000 other things. He's awesome! Then next we have someone who's been on the team for a very, very long time, but he has never taken on so much responsibility than he did this time, because we didn't know if Risa would be able to make the show because of things she was planning for her family. And Zafiro really did a great job being the second stage manager this year, planning out all the props, being the guy who reads through the script and makes sure everything that's built that we need for this show. And he needs an extra big applause because he has had a hard time and he aced it. Congratulations!
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the whole team for actually reading the goddamn script. And also thank you for the first row, which I made participating by throwing some vegetables at, well, actually me.
This is dangerous up here. I know why I'm usually working back there. So next up here is Mendra. He is one of our technical masterminds behind this show because he knows how to use a soldering iron and how to plug in equipment in the right sequence. We have a full monitoring system back here that he built for the puppeteers, and he also donates a lot of these televisions you see all around here, and he keeps building stuff. And I don't even have a full list of what he did. The only thing I do know for sure is that nothing of this would be working without him. So. Jianan. There's a nice story how he ended up in the team. Last year, he could only stay until Friday evening and he had to leave on Saturday so he couldn't see the show. So he asked us, well, I'm sorry, can I watch? I love the Pawpet show, can I watch the rehearsals? And we said, yeah, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Because in that year, the rehearsals started around 7 in the evening and they ended 8 in the morning the day after. And he sat right through it to the end and he was still smiling. And I went like, we need this guy! And he did a lot of stage hands things at first, and we ran out of more hands, and he ended puppeteering, and then he ended up having small speaking roles, which he did really, really well. So thank you very much, and there will be more challenges for you next year. Next up, we have Bruno and Liam. Bruno played both the bathroom attendant and Flavius, the innkeeper. Yeah. There's a special guest role. We have Sir William Bellicose from UK Pawpet. So next up we have our stagehand, secondary puppeteer, and best boy, Liam. He's the first living DMX controller because we didn't finish the remote control for the smog machines, the fog machines, and the fans backstage, and he sat there during the entire stage just this at the right time. It sounds easy until you sit there and try to do it. And of course he did all other kind of stuff. And please kick me in the butt if I've forgotten what it all was. Stuff. He said it himself. Next up, Fairlight as Marcus, together with Oval. The man who started it all. Thank you so much. What was that for? Because I can. You bloody. Yes, I know they have teeth. It's okay. Thank you. And I'm giving you credit. So. Yes, then of course Olaf, our secondary puppeteer, who's also done countless other things in this play. Who, by the way, as his second job, is also a press representative for Eurofurence. Next up, Ice Folks as Vinny. Want to see more? Together with Tiger's Eye. Yeah, Tiger's Eye, the hands of Vinny, and many other things. Among he's a prop builder and, well, stagehand and everything. One of those guys that are everywhere, and especially there where you need them. Next up we have KJ, our stagehand, prop builder, helper, climber on ladders, thrower of stuff. And thank you so much for helping. Next up, CJ, secondary puppeteer, stagehand, and also a prop builder. He built the mechanics for that. Arrow. Spring. Where is it? Ouch! Thank you very much. Why are you all hurting me? Next up, we have Kuro, also secondary puppeteer, prop builder, puppet builder, and everything else. Okay, I'm not hurting her nose, poor kitty. Next up, we have Isaac Fox, who is on the light team. Why is he running away from me? He's got the toothed creature. Next up, we have Sanabo, who is also on the light team. And Darkwing, who has been the team lead of the light team. Here is Eric, who is the sound team. Hiding in the shadow over there is Theo, who built these magnificent puppets here, like Vinny and Marcus and Besonia and Aurelia. And I need someone else up here. Lance, where are you? Come on. Lance, come up here. The other custom puppets built by Lance Ikigawa. You will not believe how much work went into all these puppets. Finally, also we need to mention the video team that is backstage there, all the way on the other side of the universe, BBF and its helpers and the cameraman. Enrique, do I see you? Carry her on stage. Enrique, come here. She did a lot of character designs for the foxes and for the Arctic foxes, and she drew the storyboard for the nice introduction video that held everyone else together. So a big round of applause for Enrique, our production artist. Then, there is another artist I would like to have here on stage. She's from the Ukraine, and I don't know how to pronounce her name because she's got a funny thing in it. Can you come up here? Come here! And teach me how to pronounce your nickname. She also helped drawing the introduction sequence, and without her we wouldn't have an intro sequence. So I am so thankful for both you, and a few other people that are probably not here who also worked on this, so thank you very much. Hello?
Do you get the idea? I mean, I get the idea that he loses hair every year. He's got this receding hairline that just gets worse with all the stress he has every year. And despite having all the stress of organizing a convention of this size, he finds it in his heart, and he is actually crazy enough, let's face it, to organize stuff like the concert, which probably took a little bit of work. And he actually also is the director of this freaking huge production that you just saw, which also takes months and months of preparation. So give it up for Cheetah!
Okay, if any of you still wants one of these nice posters, they cost $10 and you can buy them right here. Unfortunately, we can't do it for the charity because we haven't paid them yet, but if you pay more than 10 euros a piece, the rest will go to the charity, alright? So these can still be had on your enjoyment, and we will also sign them for you if you like. So, I am out of... Yeah, there we go. Okay, before I clear the stage, because I promised to be here this year, your dance will be almost on time, I promise. I think we're not too way off, so I'm going to clear the stage now. So, I want to thank all of you for being here. The con is not over yet. Next up will be the Big Blue Dance. And I'd like to ask all of you to please if you have the ability, take a chair and stick them up against the back wall. And also, please take your glasses and all your other trash with you. That will make it much easier for us to get this stage cleared for the Big Blue Dance. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Goodbye.